So I just got off of work not even 15 minutes ago, so if at any point in this video you see syrup on my arms, that's why. Didn't put my contacts, didn't beat the face, not that I ever beat it well, but didn't beat it, because we're gonna get real intimate, just you and me. We're just gonna talk about the time I went on a date in New York City. Could I have died? Absolutely. Did I? Not this time. It was our last night in New York City, and we went out to a comedy club. You know, we did a little drinking, just a little bit. Unless a cop sees this, then I'm lying. We did our thing. So we were walking back. I was looking real cute. I had like a blue skirt. Kim let me borrow her jean jacket. I had like a black crop top. It was a look, honey. I was serving looks. And so we were just walking, and you know, I'm feeling good. We just left McDonald's. It's like 3 a.m. So we're walking, and when I'm in New York, I'm in that state of mind to just keep walking, and I don't stop to talk to people. So if someone walks up on me, I'm like, and you know, I keep walking. So I just kept walking, and I felt someone right here, and I was like, oh, it's probably like a homeless person or something. I'm just gonna walk faster. And my friends were like, Cosette. And I was like, they're gonna tell me there's a homeless guy next to me. I'm not gonna look. And they were like, Cosette, there's someone that wants to talk to you. And I was like, I see a man, a real man, a fine piece of man. And I'm like, So he's like, hey. And I'm like, hi. He just talks to me, and we stayed in the Crowne Plaza at Times Square. So that was really close to the comedy club we were at. It wasn't a far walk back, so he started walking with me the rest of the way back to the hotel, you know, like, oh, what's your name? Where are you from? Blah, blah. I was like, oh, I don't live in New York. I'm obviously a tourist since I'm staying in Times Square. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm not from here either. Oh my gosh, that I didn't fart. That was the chair. Now it's not doing it. See? So then he was like, oh, that's cool that you're a tourist or whatever. Like, where are you from? And I was like, Texas. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm not from here either. I'm just here to go to school. And I was like, oh, where do you go to school? And he's like, Sunny. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what's your major? Blah, blah, blah. I talk about how I'm in theater. He's like, oh, my major is something in journalism or something. And I was for it. I said, okay, you're cute, you're intelligent, you approached me. This is good. And I was like, so why are you walking around late at night? He's like, oh, I just went to the club. Like, this guy looks really young. He's like mixed. He's super cute, super tall. I'm like, if you're smart, girl, yes ma'am. So he walks me to my hotel. He's like, so when are you leaving? And I'm like, I'm actually leaving tomorrow. And he's like, oh, well, we should hang out. So it wasn't our last night. It was our second to last night. I lied. And so I was like, the day after tomorrow. And he was like, oh, well, that's cool. We should hang out before then. And I was like, oh my gosh. So spontaneous. Yes, I'm down. You are fine and you're intelligent. Let's do it. We're out in the front of the hotel. Like I said, it wasn't that far of a walk, so we got there pretty quickly. So we're standing in front of our hotel. My friends, they were inside the lobby, like looking through the doors to make sure, you know, I didn't get kidnapped, you know, stuff like that. I'm not making conversation with him. We're exchanging numbers. It's all cool. And I know my friends are there. So if he tries to snatch me, they're gonna know, unless they're scrolling through Twitter. Anyway, so we're standing there, and then my friends just run out. They're like, Cosette, we need to go right now. We're going to our room. And I was like, what? They're like pulling me. I was like, oh, I'll text you later. And he's like, okay. So my friend said that apparently while we were talking, a drunk, like, Polish guy came in, and like, this old man like gave them kisses on the cheeks, and they were like, oh hell no. So they grabbed me, and we went upstairs, blah blah, and they're like, oh, what happened? What did y'all talk about? And I told them. So then we ended up texting, and we set a date for the next night. And they were like, oh, well, we don't want to go on the date with you. We don't want to wait around, so we'll go see a movie or something. So they went to go see Get Out, which I'm sure is a story time in itself. They said it was pretty crazy. So they went to go do that. And I met up with this guy, and my deal was we were gonna stay in Times Square because I still don't really know you, and as much as it would be okay, I'm not in the mood to die right now because I'm happy because I'm in New York City. So we just go to like Applebee's in Times Square. God, that should have been the first hint. He stops, he picks me up, we walk to Applebee's, and we're just chilling out. First of all, this man, like, it was snowing at this point. He takes off his stuff, and I see that he has a baseball hoodie on. Now, he did not mention baseball. He has a baseball player body, but from my experience, baseball players are hoes. That's just from my experience, and it's just because baseball players are usually hella fine, so you know, they use that power. I don't use hoe in really a negative context. They just do what they do. So I was like, you're a baseball player. And he's like, oh yeah. Second of all, he started talking in this thick ass New York accent, and I was like, yeah, there's no way that you're not from here. And he worked at like the JFK airport and stuff, and I was like, Britt, how are you fitting in school to this or whatever? Because it wasn't spring break for them yet. I was like, I was just putting things together in my mind. Now, when we were texting, he had a lot of, you know, grammar errors and like a lot of like misspelling, and I was like, how are you majoring in journalism? Like, something's not adding up here. He, how do you say, played my ass. He fucking played me like a flute. I was like, this guy's dumb. Turns out he's a stand-up comedian, and he just kept showing me his like comedy, his stand-up comedy videos and shit, and they weren't funny, and I was like, ha 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 ha. So it was a really awkward date at Applebee's, and when he found out I was Hispanic, he was like, so are you gonna like cook me meals, like blah blah blah, and I was like, bitch, no, I don't like your ass. So he ended up being really annoying and just nothing up there. Nothing at all. Except a whole bunch of lies to play my ass, because he was literally one of the most boring people I have ever met. He just kept making really sexual and terrible jokes. And yeah, left, he paid, thank God, you know, whatever. I got free food. Was it worth it? No. We started walking outside, and he was like, oh, let's just walk around. And I'm like, oh my God. At this point, I'm just ready to go back to the hotel, because when I lose interest, I lose interest. We're walking around, you know, and he's putting his arm around me, and I'm like, like I just kept scooting away, like legit just. I'm like scooting away. He keeps pulling me closer. Now this is a big guy, like a big guy. He keeps doing that hand thing where he's like, oh, your hands are so small, and I'm like, bleh. So I was holding his hand, and you know, we walked around. We ended up going to like a CVS and just like looking around, talking and stuff, and then finally I was like, he just kept saying, so how are we gonna make this work when you go back to Texas? And I was like, oh dude, there's no way. First of all, I know you just want sex. Like, I know I'm not gonna talk to you after this, blah blah blah, which, you know, honestly, in the big picture wouldn't have been a big deal if he would have not been so fucking boring and such a terrible person and such a compulsive liar. Like, turn off, and turn off. So, we're walking around, and then finally I just decided to be upfront with it. I was like, look, I'm not gonna have sex with you, and I'm not gonna keep talking to you after this probably, so like, let's just make the most out of this night. Like, let's just have fun. Let's do something fun. Tell me something really funny that happened to you, like your New York experiences. Like, just talk to me. And he got so butthurt. This grown-ass man started acting like a little kid. He was like, well, I don't want to talk. And I was like, I said, I know I'm ugly, but you're like another type of ugly. Then he was like, well, who said I just wanted to sleep with you? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, so finally, he walks me back to my hotel room, and I'm just so ready to go upstairs. Like, at this point, I just want to cry because I'm so frustrated, because bad dates take so much out of you, because you're nervous and you want to have a good time, and then when you don't, you're like, ugh. And like, I thought this would be my one really spontaneous date in New York City, and it would be a lot of fun, you know, because we met in a really weird, creepy way. Like, and he was cute, and if he would have really been all those things, it probably would have been a better date. We get to my hotel room, or we get to the like outside of where the lobby is, and he starts like, you know, like, let me come upstairs and help you pack. Let me help you pack. You know, he starts like kissing on me and stuff, and I'm like, And then finally he was like, well, just give me a kiss. And I was like, for New York City. And I kissed him, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave now, and you're not gonna come with me. Like a dog, I had to be like, no, I don't want to. Then he got all butthurt again and was like, well, am I gonna hear from you? And I was like, probably not. Then he got more butthurt and he left, and I was like, well, Well, fuck! My friend's movie had just started, and so they weren't gonna be back for a while. And so I went upstairs. I was really frustrated. I was crying, and I took off all my makeup, my beat face. I unbeat the face. I just took it all off. I put on a big hoodie, took off my tight clothes, and I grabbed my headphones and I went to those, you know, those red steps in New York City. And girl, since it was the last night, I was already feeling kind of sad because I absolutely adore New York City. I feel like my heart is there. So I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go enjoy my last night while my friends aren't here. So I took my little happy ass to the red steps in Times Square and froze my ass off. I ended up getting sick when I got back because I was, you know, it was really cold and I didn't pack appropriately. I just sat and I watched everything and I listened to my little hipster ass music and I just watched the people come and go and thought about my night and thought about my trip. And that was probably one of my favorite moments of our New York City trip, just because it was our first trip out on our own that we had paid for, and it was in New York City, my 4th time going, so I was a little bit more comfortable, and I just, oh, it was so much fun. I had so much fun. Yeah, that was my date experience, and I just thought I would do a little story time, and you guys let me know, like, you little people that low-key be watching my videos, subscribe to my app. Tell me what videos y'all want to see. Y'all want to see some dumb shit? Y'all want to see more skits? You want to see more story times? You want to see less of me moving my hands around? I can do that for you. And I'm looking in the viewfinder. Fuck. And yeah, see you Sunday.